Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Wayne, and it is early as hell in the morning. See the bags under my eyes? Yeah, that's what it is. But today we are reacting to EARTHGANG's MIRRORLAND, and I'm really excited. This is a group that is signed to J. Cole on DREAMVILLE, and they've been around for a while. They just never released a full album. They've always dropped singles here and there, but we never knew what would actually end up on the project. I do see that Up ended up on here, so if that's the case, if that's the song I think it is, I might wow the fuck out. The features look very interesting. They got Young Thug, T-Pain, Kehlani, and Malik. But I don't know who that other person is. Arin Ray. I don't know who that is, but you know, let's not waste any time. Let's just get right into it. The first song is gonna be called LaLa Challenge. His voice is really animated, like kind of like Andre 3000, I feel. And these guys are really good at just their delivery. Their delivery is very interesting. It kind of keeps you entertained throughout the songs that they make. And what they're talking about right now is dope. They're just talking about the current state of hip hop, where everybody's a gangsta. Everybody's like trying to show you how real they are, and everybody's fake at the end of the day. So I almost feel like the LaLa challenge is, you know, everybody just looking exactly the same. I don't know. We'll see. We're only a minute into the song, so. Ooh. What? Ooh. Ooh. So that was LaLa Challenge, the opening track off of MIRRORLAND, and I have no idea what this album's gonna sound like, but right now I really like the fact that they're able to take chances with such confidence. A lot of new acts tend to ease their way into albums like this, but they just right out the gate are just going for it, and I really respect that. The next song is gonna be Up. I've already heard this before. This shit fire. Back on the hunt. Shoes. Dude, he's just ridiculously over the top on this song. Rich shit, nigga shit, come on up. Rich shit, nigga shit. I got it. I'm hard. That they said that I can't do. Miss me with the artificial angles. I ain't hard. Make money make you. That is undeniably one of my favorite songs of the year. Damn, dude, that song, the energy on the song, the production, the flows, the deliveries, everything about this song, in my opinion, is flawless. The way that they transition from verse to hook to verse to hook, it's not done in a regular way. It's really dope. It's almost like from the first hook into the next verse, it doesn't go into a verse, it goes into a bridge first, and then it goes into a verse, and then it goes into another bridge, and then into a hook. It's really dope, man. That's Up. Don't sleep on that song. The next song is gonna be Top Down. Really interesting hook that they decided to go with. We'll see if it works. This nigga is flowing right now. I almost wish they chose a more melodic beat behind this hook. It works with this very static bass. I guess it creates that eeriness that they were going for, but I don't know, man. I just feel like the hook would have gone better over a different type of instrumental. But that's just me. That comes down to personal preference. That doesn't take anything away from the song. That's hard. That's hard. I think he's kind of referencing like how big he is now and how people feel like he doesn't need any help. I think that's kind of what he's alluding to. Where it's like, nigga, you got all this money, you know, you're big now, you know, got all this fame, you're signed to J. Cole, like, you don't need us no more. And people feel like they don't need to watch you, or people feel like they don't need to make sure that you're good. And he came to that realization when his ex came to him and started asking him real questions, not about work for once. And he came to that realization. So I fuck with that hard. That's a dope verse. So that was Top Down. It was a cool track. Wasn't anything too amazing or outside the box. I do like the song. I just don't think it was that great. I don't see myself coming back to that on a regular basis. But yeah, I like what they were talking about. Like I said, the instrumental I feel could have been a little bit more catered to the hook, just a little bit more, just to make that hook really pop out. But I know exactly what they were trying to do with that song. So for what it's worth, it's a good song. So let's go into the next song. It's called Bank. Ooh. When you hear that low quality ass piano, you know it's about to go down. Oh. Bro, you know what I like about this this specific song is it kind of does this style of rap a little bit differently than everybody else do it. Like, cause I could hear a DaBaby on this type of track, but the way that he's doing it, he's almost like whispering it into the mic. It's very soft spoken, and it kind of works very well because they have this eerie like whistle sound above the rest of the beat, and it's just really dope. Like, even when the bass dropped, it still has this very short 808 to where it doesn't elongate yet. So it's almost like, you're still, the beat technically is dropped, but it still hasn't dropped yet. Oh man, like the suspense leading into this this verse is really dope so far. So let's keep it going. Now I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not really feeling the hook like that. And that sucks because it's not a bad hook either. It's just not, it's not as catchy as it could have been, I feel. And that last bit where he was just like, lit. I'm sure that part will grow on me later, but as of right now, I'm not feeling it. You coming in first, you know. Don't know who you is no more. You praying for validation. Yeah, that's hard. So that was Bank. I feel kind of half and half with that one. One half of me really likes the production, really likes the intro of the track, but the other half of me also feels like the track could have been better. The hook could have been a little bit more catchy. But it's always hard with EARTHGANG because even if you don't necessarily like the hook, and this is how I feel about Head on a Swivel, off of DREAMVILLE's compilation album, even though I don't necessarily like the hook, they still are really good rappers and they could flow their ass off. But I feel like on this song, the flows couldn't save it necessarily because of how minimalistic the beat was. Everything had to be on point for this song to work, but I just feel like it could have been better. That one might grow on me, but we'll see going in the future. The next song's gonna be Proud of You featuring Young Thug. It's hard to tell if that's Young Thug or if that's the dude from EARTHGANG. I have no idea. Oh, yes. Yes. EARTHGANG is very experimental with their flows and their delivery. So it only makes sense that you would get a rapper like Young Thug to come on a song like this and all of y'all just kind of kill it. This sounds dope so far. This is really cool. And I like how minimalistic, once again, the sample is in the background. It doesn't, they kind of took out the whole bass of the sample and they kind of just left the very little top end to where it's kind of creeping in throughout the instrumental. It's not prominent, but you could hear it, you know. They kind of let the bass take over on the production, so I fuck with that. I like the vibe that they're going with, so let's let it continue. Oh, I love the production change. I'm a sucker for it. Oh, they're just gonna let Young Thug do his thing on this, huh? This is a dope song, man. This is my favorite. Besides Up, this is my favorite right here. I really fuck with that song. Man, Young Thug did his thing. EARTHGANG did their thing. I fuck with it. Next song is gonna be This Side. We having fun on this side. Let's go to the lake. Let's jump in the naked. Wait, did he say let's go to the lake, let's jump in it naked? I ain't skinny dipping in no lake, my dude. I got sensitive skin.
They took Nip, took X, just a hating ass nigga. Hope that I ain't next. But if it pleases God, I hope the shooter ain't best. Then I fly to better lands and Neverland like Sandra Bland.
Okay.
No, I ain't coming back. I think I hit the joint too hard, plus I'm tired of all this trash. Breaking moment, feeling more like a dream. Bust to read by ashy nigga off on camera the road. Walking proof of what can happen when you say what you mean. Now I'm the jungle, now I'm the wind, now I'm the rain. The climate change, I crack a joke to hide the pain. It doesn't work.
Okay, so we're about 3 minutes in. There's about a minute and a half left. What I want to say about songs like this is it's not pulling me in at the moment. I love what they're talking about. I love the reference where he was talking about they took X, they took Nipsey, and hopefully if he's next, hopefully he'll go to a greater place like Sandra Bland. I love that line because it's almost like a creeping thought in every rapper's mind, where it's like all these rappers are passing away from hating ass niggas. Maybe my enemies will come for me next. And that's a really fucked up way to think about it. Now I almost feel like this song is about paranoia, and then the hook acts as like, well, we're having fun on this side, just ignore all your problems. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody else is telling you like you're rich, you know, you're living a great life, just ignore it, you'll get over it. But then when they're by themselves, they think all these things that they're saying on their verses. That's what I feel like this song is doing. If not, then I'm just pulling from the air. But right now, even though I really enjoy what they're doing lyrically, I don't necessarily enjoy the instrumental and the way that they're going about it. I like the breakdown that they added at the very end, where they were kind of just rapping their asses off and the vocals were changing speakers. They were kind of panning left and right. I like how hard they went on that last part, but I almost feel like it came a little too late in the song. I mean, that's 3 minutes and 40 seconds into the song, and then you drop that little breakdown at the end. So was it dope? Yes, but I don't necessarily feel satisfaction from this song like I should. So that's just how I feel at the moment. Let's go into the next track. It's called Swivel, which we've already heard.
Nigga, keep your head on the swivel, trumpet looking around the corner, run up on you any minute, you'll be gone. Hey, we been making waves, we been making sounds, rappers in the fake, they paper mache, like pinata, they can't.
You know what I like about this song is it's the raspiness in their voices. You know, the way that they're able to change the way their voice sounds on every track is very interesting. But on this one, it almost feels like they have a very hopeless tone when they're rapping about all this stuff. Like, you know, he's talking about the people that have passed away, or the people that are in jail, you know, some of his friends and people who are close to him, and how that affects him. And got to keep your head on a swivel, like watch where you're going at all times. You know, almost like with the paranoid nature, continuing that paranoid narrative from this side. I really fuck with that heavy. But also the instrumental, it's very interesting because there's this white noise behind the beat that kind of like fluctuates in and out. I don't know what effect they're trying to go for, but I feel like it helps the overall mood of the track almost. I don't know. Let's keep it going. See, paranoia. There's another one.
And when I was young, I ain't had to pop no guns, no sir, but we always robbed. Shit, they kept my head on the weaving bob. I'd rather be dead than to weave in sobs.
So that was a cool track. It was a cool track. I still kind of feel very similarly to the first time that I heard it off of the compilation album, Dreamville, Revenge of the Dreamers 3. I cannot think right now. It's really early. But I do like it a little bit more than I did previously. Within the context of the album, this song makes a lot of sense. And I fuck with it. I fuck with what they're talking about. But I just feel like it was a little too chill for me at the moment. But let's go into the next track. It's called Avenue. I do still like that song, though. He said, I'll have your ego high as chimpanzee in space. Now, you could be referencing multiple things. You could be referencing Space Chimps, which is a little bit newer. You could be referencing Planet of the Apes. There's a couple ways you can go about that. I know that's not very important within the grand scheme of things right now, but that's what I caught on to. Okay, that was Avenue. Ugh, I don't know how I feel about that song. I think overall the song was decent. You could have a really solid verse, but if the hook's not good, then, you know, maybe the verse just doesn't really matter. I feel really weird about this album. Let's just go into the next track. Next track is Tequila featuring T-Pain. Ooh. Okay. I think those horns are just a little bit too loud. Life is full of catchy hooks and uppercuts. Is that a shot at me? Is that a shot at me saying I don't like some of these hooks, man? I'm sorry. Oh, the song being called Tequila is just about abusing alcohol to cope with your feelings. I mean, obviously, but let's just let the song continue before I say anything. Ooh. I'm not seriously here to be cleared it up for the 8th time. Can't stop. Ooh. I don't know. Man, that was Tequila featuring T-Pain. I don't know, man. I wasn't really feeling that one either. I like what they added with T-Pain at the very end, but I feel like his part could have been, I feel like his feature could have been a little bit more prominent in the grand scheme of things, because T-Pain surprisingly sounded really good over that type of beat. Like, his singing really matched the overall mood of the track and the instrumental, and I think he could have honestly just did the hook. Like, why would you have T-Pain do a bridge? But I just feel like sometimes the songs just don't hit. They just don't hit me like that. Next song's gonna be Blue Moon. Okay. I like this song. I like this song for a different reason though. What he's doing here, it's just very lighthearted. I really fuck with just the hook as well. It's not him like really trying to be over the top or anything like that. It's a real chill track. I fuck with it. I fuck with it so far, because they could definitely fuck this up. I think what a lot of this album suffers from though is a lot of these songs overstay their welcome. It would be different if I just didn't like some of them, but I don't like some of them and they take up so much of the runtime. Like Tequila, a song that I'm not really fucking with, was 4 minutes and 34 seconds. That is a really long song. I just don't feel like a lot of these songs deserve to be that long. Let me let it continue. Let me stop ranting. But I like the vibe of this song at least. I fuck with it. Okay. This is hard. Give me a little bit of energy. Yes. This is what I need. Yeah, dude, just really get in your bag. That was Blue Moon. That was a really dope song. One of my favorites on the album, surprisingly. I never thought a track that chill would become one of my favorites on an EARTHGANG album, but it did. So I fuck with it. Let's go into the next track. It's called Trippin featuring Kehlani. I'm expecting like hardcore R&B vibes right now. Like early 2000s, maybe late 90s. I think that's what we're gonna get, and I'm ready for it. Yup. This sounds like it was produced by Timbaland. That's what this sounds like. This sounds like this was produced by Timbaland. Even the snare is very similar to what I would hear in a Timbaland beat back then. Really listen to the snare from this point on, and then go back and listen to a snare from like a song you did for Aaliyah or Missy Elliott, whichever one. Not a breakdown. I'm being nitpicky at this point. I like Kehlani singing, but at this part it almost sounds too processed. I would have enjoyed Kehlani to have more of like a live performance vocal sound on here, because it almost sounds like too new school. But that's just me. It still sounds good, Kehlani. This is dope. Oh, you're y'all don't understand what just happened on this song. For people who weren't paying attention when this part came on, there was a groove change there, and the way Kehlani switched the flow up, oh my god. And she's flowing on this bitch. Yo, for those of y'all who don't really pay attention to stuff like this, I feel very sorry for you, because you don't understand how intricate music could get. And that shit was fire. That was Trippin featuring Kehlani, undeniably the best song on the whole album. That shit's gonna be on repeat. Next song is Stuck featuring Arin Ray.
I'm stuck to you. I'm sorry I can't you out in the cold.
Okay. Woo! Oh! Kill it! Oh! Give me time to breathe. Give me time to breathe. Bruh, this dude is literally the reincarnation of Andre 3000 when he does shit like that. That swelling of the vocals leading into the verse, that shit was fire. And then coming on the flow where it's that constant flow, that shit is fire, bro. Oh, I didn't catch that Sarah Marshall line. So that was Stuck featuring Arin Ray. I'm probably saying your name wrong, but that was a dope track. That was a dope track. I feel like it could have been cut just a little bit shorter. Just a little shorter. But I like the last minute of it where they kind of went into the breakdown, slowed it down a little bit, got them background vocals coming in, just make you feel good real quick before going into the next track. So I'll fuck with it. Still one of my favorite songs on the album. Let's go into the next track called Fields featuring Malik. I feel like that's how you say his name.
Fresh off the plane, konnichiwa. Only in the present, I no longer believe in time. I don't see my family half as much as I see the sky.
I don't see my family half as much as I see the sky. Shit, dude.
Twist the flow up like Lupita, bitch, I'm just a hustler.
Twist the flow up like Lupita? Okay. Nigga, I do not remember anything you just said. This shit is hard. You know what's interesting is that reminds me, and I don't mean to keep comparing you to Andre 3000, but you know what you're doing. This reminds me of Hey Ya, where he's like, what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold. All right. Where you're requesting people to sing along with you. That's just dope though. The way that you incorporated it on this song, it feels organic. It doesn't feel forced. I fuck with it. Oh my. Niggas doing 20, only paper they see is paper cups. I know it's a little mini line within that whole verse, but man, that's perspective for your ass. There's a whole minute left. Maybe it's a skit. Maybe it's a musical breakdown. Maybe they flow a little bit. This is awkward. It's coming back in. Okay, it's fading back out. Okay, so obviously somebody fucked up fading the instrumental out and making it a whole 1 minute longer than it needed to be. So that wasn't even a 5-minute cut. That was more like 4 minutes and 25 seconds. So that being said, let's go to the very last track called Wings. I fuck with that song, by the way. Ooh. Ooh. I think this was just saying no matter how many things he goes through, no matter how hard it gets, at the end of the day, he's still gonna spread his wings and fly, because you got to keep going no matter how hard your life gets, no matter how many things happen to you or to the people around you. Life doesn't stop for anybody, so you gotta keep going, man. So that was the last track called Wings on EARTHGANG's MIRRORLAND. 14 tracks, just under an hour long. I think that was a great debut album. I don't think that was a flop at all. I think it was a great album, but it does have its very glaring flaws. Like, to me, I think that EARTHGANG still, in my opinion, hasn't embraced what makes them great as a group, which is just being extremely animated, thinking a little bit more outside the box, and just not conforming to what people call introspective rap. I think they could have experimented more with their approach to some of these songs. I think songs like Top Down and Bank definitely could have been more entertaining, and then even songs like This Side, great concept. I just think the execution wasn't that. It wasn't done in a way that would make me want to go back and listen to the song, especially it being such a long investment, because you don't get any type of beat drop until the very last minute of the song, which usually isn't a problem for me because I like songs that try to be different and try to be heavy on the lyrics, but I feel like even the lyrics didn't really pull me in, and I don't know if that was the instrumental's fault or if that was just they weren't passionate about what they were saying enough. I don't know. I'd have to go back and listen to that joint again, but just from what I remember, it just wasn't that captivating. And even Tequila with T-Pain, where they have potential to make a really dope track, they don't use T-Pain the right way, and I feel like they could have used him differently to where that song was more entertaining. But they do have shining moments on here, like LaLa Challenge, Up. Even Top Down had some a really dope hook and some dope verses. The instrumental just should have been a little bit more catered to a melodic vibe, but I get why they did more of the bass heavy approach. I think even Proud of You with Young Thug was a highlight on this album. You know, just the way that they did the instrumental was a very minimalistic approach, but it still had that vibe to it. I think it was dope. And don't get me started on Trippin and Stuck. Those two songs are dope as fuck, especially Trippin with Kehlani's verse at the end. Even though I think her vocals were a little too processed, I think they still sounded really great. And man, that song, throwback Timbaland Aaliyah vibes, Missy Elliott almost vibes on that one. So the way that I feel about this album, it was a good attempt, but I think it fell just a little short with how long some of these songs were and how some of these songs just weren't that entertaining to me. So if I had to give it a score, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. The reason why I don't give it a 6, even though there are songs on here that I think are a little boring or a little on the slower side, they're not bad songs by any means. They're just not my preference. So I'm gonna say 7 out of 10 for EARTHGANG's MIRRORLAND. Comment down below if you agree or disagree. Let me know how you feel about the album. What was your favorite track? And like the video if you enjoyed watching. You know, I know I wasn't too energetic on this project specifically, just because with albums like this, I feel like I need to listen a little bit closer than with the Post Malone album, where you know exactly what the fuck going on. So subscribe for more weekly videos. Honestly, I'm posting every other day at this point. So guys, just stay tuned and keep coming back. Keep coming back, share the video, and don't be afraid to comment, man. You know, let me know how you feel, man. And yeah, so on the next video that I drop, it'll most likely be in a newer format, just to make it a little bit easier for me to get these videos out on time, because sometimes when 3 albums come out in the same weekend, it's really hard for me to react to all of them within a certain time frame. So this new format is going to be more catered to the review side of things, to kind of help me review that extra album throughout the weekend. So yeah, it's been real. It's your boy Wayne, and see you guys next time. Peace.